Hello, my name is Darren Thomas, and I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to learn a little bit about if-then statements and how to apply them inside Excel VBA. So let's take a quick look at a diagram here and see if we can learn something about how if-then statements work. So our goal is that we want to make a subroutine that would allow us to input a number, and the subroutine can determine if that number is divisible by 3. In order to do that, we must employ the use of an if-then statement. So an if-then statement is basically where if something is true, the computer does one thing. If something is false, the computer does something else. And so by basing it on this criteria, the computer is able to execute one of two choices. So to draw you a picture of this, because this is more about application than it is about theory of Boolean logic, what this is basically an example of, let's go ahead and see how this is going to look. So we're going to have a start, obviously. And then our program is going to, of course, get its x value, whatever that is. So get x. Get x. And of course, I need to dim x. So that's something that I will do. That there will be this one variable. Next is going to determine something. It's going to determine x divisible by 3. This is our question. And so there's only two choices here. It could branch off into false, which means the number we input is not divisible by 3, or it could branch off into true. If it is false, we're going to get an output box that's going to say, no. It's going to be longer than that, but we're just going to keep it simple. Now, if it is true, the output box is going to say something along the lines of yes. And then after that, no matter what route we take, as you can see here, we're going to meet right here at the bottom for end. So this is what's happening. And so you can see right here that the star of the show is going to be determining if our number is divisible by 3 or not. That's what we're going to do. And in order to do that, we're going to use the mod function inside Microsoft VBA, Microsoft Excel VBA. So now that we've had that introduction to this, let's go over to Excel and see what we can learn about this. All right. So we're going to work through the code together. All right, so we're going to create our subroutine here. So we're going to call it sub divide by 3. As you can see, press enter, it'll automatically make the parentheses for you. So we're going to dim x as integer. Next, we're going to put in our x equals input box. This is what the end user is going to see. And the input box is going to ask him to enter a number. So we don't want text, obviously. After that, we're going to do the following. This is where we get into our if-then statement. If x mod 3. So the mod is going to determine if there's a remainder or not. So if the remainder is 0, so for example, if I put in the number 6, the answer will be 2 with no remainder. So it'll be the remainder will be 0. So when we're trying to divide by 3, we want to make sure that the mod, or the answer for the mod, is 0. In other words, there are no numbers left over. This is something you learn in mathematics probably around 5th or 6th grade. So when this is going to be, if x mod 3, so if x is divisible by 3 and there's no remainder, then we're going to do the following. And I'm going to press the tab to kind of make it easier to read. We're going to output the following message box. And so you're going to see this. Your number is divisible by 3. Okay, that's what it's going to say. Now, if our number is not divisible by 3, we have to add in this else command. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this to save time because the message is mostly the same. And your number is not divisible. We're only going to add the not here. That's going to be new. It's not divisible by 3. And then I must also put in the if. Otherwise, I will have problems. Now, one thing that we need to also talk about is this little box down here called locals. If you click on views, you can see that you have a locals window. This allows you to see step by step what your code is doing. So we're going to go up to the top now. And if you press F8, you can go step by step through your code. So you can see right here, if you look closely, the letters are very small, but you can see that we're already doing something. We have an X and the value is set to 0 and the type is an integer. I press F8 again and it skips down to the input box. And so I press it again and now it takes me to the worksheet and it's asking for a number. So this first time I'm going to put in the number 6. All right, and then I click OK. It takes me back inside here. I press F8 again. All right, it looks like my number is divisible by 3. So now it takes me back to the screen and you can see the message. Your number is divisible by 3. So great, looks like it works so far. Then it goes down to the end if and end sub and we are done. Now we're going to repeat the process, but this time we're going to pick a number that is not divisible by 3. And so now it should output your number is not divisible by 3. So I press F8 again. You can see my variable is declared. F8 again. It asks me for a number. I put in, let's just say 16. All right, I press F8 again. You can see it skips to the else. And then you can see the message box will appear next. And you can see here on the worksheet, it says your number is not divisible by 3. So looks like everything is working according to plan. Press F8 2 more times and we're out of there. So this is how you are able to make very, very simple if-then statements inside Microsoft Excel when you're using the VBA developer. So let me try to summarize what we talked about and we will conclude this video. So in this video, we were introduced to the ideals of how to use if-then statements inside Microsoft Excel VBA. And so when you set up if-then statements, you're going to have a test in which there are two choices, true or false. And the computer decides based on some sort of a criteria. In our example here, we are trying to decide if a number is divisible by 3 or not. If the number is divisible by 3, we will get this output right here. If the number is not, we will get this output right here. That's how it works. So my name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Thank you so much for watching and take care.